Thank you, Paul. I'm sure that many of us grew up watching the antics of Moe, Larry, and Curly, of course, better known as the Three Stooges. My next guest also grew up with the Stooges. Her story is a bit more personal. She is the daughter of Moe Howard, of Moe, of the Stooge, and the author of this book, which is entitled The Three Stooges Scrapbook. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joan Howard Maurer. Joan, how are you? Pleasure to meet you. Have a seat if you will. This is very exciting and interesting for me and to me, or however you would say that. As a young girl, what was it like to have, as a parent, a Stooge?
Well, at first, you know, when people would ask me the same question, I used to say, perfectly normal. We ate our pie at home. We didn't throw it. But then I started to think about it. It really isn't that normal. Because I can say, and maybe we would make the Guinness Book of Records, my father on the Mike Douglas show threw a pie at my mother. My mother on the Mike Douglas show threw a pie at my father. And about 6 months ago, I threw a pie on the Bob Braun show at a man by some music director, anyway. And next week, on AMLA, I'm going to throw a pie at my husband. I hope we'll be married after next week.
That's all very bizarre, but I guess considering your heritage, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Right.
But now, as a kid, were you, in seriousness, were you proud that your father was one of the Three Stooges, or?
I have to say, not really.
Yeah.
I was proud of him, but it was, I really wanted to fit in with the crowd. I really didn't want to let anyone know. I didn't lie. If they asked me who he was, I'd tell them.
Yeah. Now, did you have other brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I had a brother, Paul.
Now, how did he feel about your dad?
I just found this out about 6 months ago. He lied. They'd ask him who his father was, and he'd say he was a meter reader for the gas company.
Now tell me about Moe at home. He was the guy who was kind of the ringleader, of the group. Was he bizarre and crazy at home also?
No, very serious.
Yeah.
Very loving father. Had difficulty demonstrating his love with hugs and kisses, but he would go off on trips, on his personal appearance tours, and he'd come back with suitcases loaded with presents for us. And that's the way he demonstrated his love.
Yeah. Was it ever awkward when you were dating to bring home a guy that you liked and suddenly discover that your father was one of?
It's funny that you say that, because I remember one day I came home with a friend from school, and my father loved to garden, and he would garden in just a pair of jeans with no top, and he had a bit of a pot belly. And he wound up, anyway, the friend came home and they said, "Who's that pot-bellied gardener?" They didn't know it was my dad.
Yeah, this is Moe. This is a great picture, by the way. This is you in the middle of the Stooges.
Right, mugging like my father.
Yeah. Now, just go from left to right or right to left and explain who these guys are and how they're related and so on.
My father.
This is Moe right there. Okay.
Larry. His hair is in tassels, so that's why he looks a little different. And Curly, who was my uncle. There was no relation to Larry. And it looks like he has a head of hair there, Curly, though. They didn't slice it off yet. No, it might have been certain periods where he got married. He liked to look nice for his wife, so he let his hair grow.
Now Larry was not a relative.
No.
Just a friend. Okay, we're going to take a look at, I guess, some random home movies that tell us who took them, and these don't have sound on them.
It was sort of like Citizen Kane. My father produced, directed, wrote, starred in these things, but I had a part, and they were from the 30s.
Okay, this is obviously silent footage?
Silent, black and white footage from the 1930s.
The Three Stooges relaxing at home, ladies and gentlemen.
That was me, relaxing at home. You can see my hair is the same.
Yeah. You look confused.
That's Mort. That's Shemp's son.
Shemp was also a brother of
there's
Howards.
Shemp Howard from the... And that's in Hollywood, the Westlake Park, which is now called MacArthur Park. That's Paramount. The first time their names were in lights. And that's the top of the theater when they did, oh, my dad, somebody cut his head off.
Yeah.
He was in costume for a thing called Night in Venice. And there's Larry. I have a feeling he's not working today. He must have come from the track.
That was Larry dressed up like a banker?
Now, there's Shemp. We worked out little vignettes, little short stories.
Why, you...
Some or other, our home movies always came out looking like Stooge comedies.
Yeah.
An old 30s Packard. Boy, that would be worth a lot.
That's a beautiful car.
Right. And there's a scene, Dad worked out the story. We're teasing him. He's supposed to be sleeping. And this is also in the Hollywood area. I think somewhere near Hobart Street. Well, we're fixing him up.
He must have loved that, didn't he?
He planned the whole thing.
Now this
but-
again is Shemp, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And let me... Oh, yeah, there's Dad again. In any minute, I think the ladies are going to come. Those will be the wives. Well, maybe not. That was his first check. And there they are. They're on the way in
Curly.
1939.
This
to
was
England.
an actual trip?
They're on their way, actually, to do the provinces in England.
But they were actually on the Queen Mary.
Right, actually on the Queen Mary.
The Three Stooges and the Queen Mary.
Right. And they're just relaxing there, but... Now, this is Dublin Zoo, or the London Zoo. I'm not quite sure which one. Also in the provinces in England. And...
now, which one is Moe?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Dad's on the right, and the creatures on the left. Curly loved animals. And in a minute, you'll see, there's one he didn't love. Take a look. And this is the film that should have been cut. That was the bad part. That was the part that was
That's
supposed to be
great.
cut out.
That's very nice. Tell me about Curly. He was the baby brother of the family?
Right, 5 sons.
And what kind of person was he?
Very quiet, not a very happy man. He,
Oh, really?
Died very young.
Yeah.
We won't keep that sad note, but he was marvelous on film. My husband felt that he was really a genius, and so did my father feel that way at pantomime.
Well, he seemed to be, they were all funny, of course, but he seemed to be the one who was the real innovator. Moe was, he had his part to play, but Curly came up with a lot of stuff that is
Very
classic
innovative,
stuff. Yeah.
the noises. I wish I knew how to do those things, like
Yeah.
yuck, yuck, yuck. And
Now we have, I believe, some film now of this would be Curly's wedding.
Right.
Okay.
About the 1937 or 8.
Okay.
And
All right, we'll take a look at that. Curly being married and probably the hot invitation of the day.
right. And there he is waiting for his second wife, Elaine Ackerman, her name was, prior to her marriage. And there's Shemp, he's also waiting.
There's some question now that
That's my grandfather, the father of all 5 sons.
The father of the
Three
Stooges.
Stooges. Not Larry, though. Larry is a little late as
Larry
usual.
looks great, doesn't he?
Doesn't he look terrific? Yeah. My dad.
Why, you.
He must have been about 39 there. All of them were in that age group, 38, 39. And my grandfather was he would smile, but when you see, there's the bride. That's Elaine.
Oh, boy, it's kind of a hot ticket, isn't she?
Right. She's a lovely lady. There I am. I
Yep.
guess I'm mugging it like my father. And that's my mother on the right. That hat was really something. She looked like she was frightened by a Playboy bunny. That's my grandmother. Mugging.
That's great. That's terrific. I wish we had more time to talk about each of the guys, your uncles. You had a Stooge for a father and 2 Stooge uncles.
Right.
What about stuff like that? Where did that come from? Was that written or improvised?
That was funny that you say that. I think it happened at one of those houses on the film that we just saw. But one day, Shemp and Larry were playing cards. And they got into a terrible fight. And Shemp got angry. He was not he usually didn't show his anger, but he took the fingers and he went like this right into Larry's forehead. My father got so hysterical that he fell over backwards through a French door. But he was hurt a little. He was cut up a bit. But the next day, he said, in the middle of the act, they were doing a personal appearance to ours. He thought, that was so funny. He says, let's try that in the act. And that's how that's how that evolved.
Now, how popular were the Stooges as an act before they started showing up on television? Or was that when they really got hot?
It really did. They were seen all over the world after that. They were always popular, but the films were originally an adult product for theatricals at night.
Yeah.
And during the day, the children's matinees. But they would come out so seldom. In other words, a short would be shot, and you would maybe come out one every 3-4 months.
Yeah.
We're on television every single day.
Yeah.
The kids
And
were
still on,
watching those.
worldwide, I'm guessing.
Right.
Did these guys do well for themselves? They looked very prosperous in these films.
They did fine. Columbia Studio did a lot better because
Sure.
they did not share in any of those old shorts at all.
This is terrific film, and it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank
Same
you very
here,
much.
David. Thanks for having me.
Joan Howard Maurer, ladies and gentlemen, the daughter of Moe Howard. We'll be right back with Andy Breckman. Very nice.